quick. Think of something. Just anything. Okay. You are thinking about the "It is Wednesday, my dudes" meme, because what else would you be thinking about? You are thinking about an image of a very strange looking frog with the text "It is Wednesday, my dudes" around it, and to be honest, I probably would have thought about the same thing if I got that question. The next step is to take the popularity of this thing that you pick yourself and put it on the y-axis, and on the x-axis there will be time in years. Then we will, of course, make a graph out of this to see how the popularity of "It is Wednesday, my dudes" has changed over time. But doesn't that graph look a bit lonely? I feel like we have to add another completely random graph so it has some company. I'm thinking like the Boeing stock price could help, and it would look like this. Can't argue with facts, right? I mean, we can clearly see here that these two things are related. The more "It is Wednesday, my dudes" memes, the more the Boeing stock price goes up. It's as simple as that. Just make a bunch of "It is Wednesday, my dudes" memes and invest in Boeing, and you've got yourself a solid business plan. I don't know what you're even trying to argue about at this point. What is a spurious relationship? Is this a spurious relationship? Maybe this is a spurious relationship. Well, no, it's not. The connection between "It is Wednesday, my dudes" and the Boeing stock price is a spurious relationship because the two topics seem to be affecting each other when you look at statistics, but if you actually think about it, they really don't. This example was taken from a website by Tyler Vigen with a lot of these situations. It basically consists of over 25,000 individual graphs. This isn't 25,000, but you get the idea. That they try out with other ones until they find something that kinda matches. The website includes everything from margarine consumption to divorce rates in the state of Maine. And yes, that is a very real spurious relationship. This is what it looks like. There also seems to be a very tight bond between how clickbaity Tom Scott's titles are and the amount of people who search for Shrek on Google. And let's not forget the almost brother-like relationship between the "We live in a society" meme and the amount of wind power generated in Namibia. These connections are all examples of completely random spurious relationships. No matter how real it might look, there is no reason for the graph of "It is Wednesday, my dudes" and the Boeing stock price to be so similar. It's just a little coincidence that in 2018, a lot of people felt like buying airplanes, and at the same time they wanted to share a picture of a cute frog with some text around it, and the result is two graphs that look pretty similar to each other for no apparent reason. But all spurious relationships aren't random. A common example would be the connection between ice cream sales and drowning accidents, which would look like this. When ice cream sales are high, more drowning accidents tend to happen, and vice versa. But if you actually think about it, buying ice cream doesn't really make you a bad swimmer, and drowning really doesn't make you more eager to buy ice cream, so by definition, that is a spurious relationship. If you think about it some more, you'd realize, when do most people drown? When a lot of people swim. When do a lot of people swim? When it's hot outside. And when do a lot of people eat ice cream? Also when it's hot outside. Since the connection isn't direct and only happens after a detour into heat waves and salt water, this is a spurious relationship. This is very important to consider when doing an investigation, because if you don't, you'll likely end up with a nice package of misinformation as the result. It happened with a study from 1999 about myopia, which is a horrible and annoying word for short-sightedness. In it, they tested whether children who slept in bright rooms or in dark rooms were more likely to become short-sighted later in life. The study showed that children sleeping in bright rooms were 5 times more likely to become short-sighted than the rest. They published it, it became a full-on news story. Don't let your child sleep in a bright room, they'll get bad eyesight. But only a year later did people realize that wasn't true. Why did the child sleep in a bright room? Because mommy said so. Why did mommy said so? Because mommy sees very poorly in dark rooms. Why does mommy see very poorly in dark rooms? Because mommy is short-sighted. And why is the child short-sighted? Because mommy is short-sighted. The people who did the study were wrong about their theory, and I mean, rightfully so. It's not unreasonable to think that sleeping in a bright room as a child would somehow prevent your eyes from developing like they should, and as a result, you become short-sighted. When you look at statistics and when you actually think about it in your brain, it makes sense. If it didn't make sense, it wouldn't have become such a big news story. What I'm trying to say is that it is very hard to know if two things are actually affected by each other or if it just looks like it based on statistics, especially when it's not a random spurious relationship like the one with Boeing and It's Wednesday, my dudes, because then it's pretty obvious. And why is this interesting? Well, it's a great tool for when you want to sound like you know what you're talking about, but in reality, you're just kind of spreading misinformation. If you want to spread some completely fake news and still have stats backing you up, this is a great way to do it. Let's say the graph for number of lethal car accidents would look like this, and the one for seatbelts sold would look like this. When looking at it at first, you would probably say that it looks like these seatbelt things are pretty dangerous, and dangerous is bad, so we should probably stop with them. Add a nice title to it, and what you have now is a big old package of misinformation that still kinda looks real. But we all know this isn't true, because when do more lethal car crashes happen? When there are more cars. And when do more seatbelts get sold? Also when there are more cars. If we'd instead change the graphs to percentage of people who use seatbelts and lethal car crashes per 100,000 people, and maybe also change the dates to something that actually makes sense, this is what it will look like. Since the percentage of people who use seatbelts directly impact how many lethal car crashes there are, this is no longer a spurious relationship and is therefore not misleading anymore. This is a very easy example. I don't think anyone would really manage to fall for this, especially not such an intelligent person like you. I'm sure you could think of a lot of situations where it's very hard to tell if one thing actually causes another or if it's a spurious relationship. Like a lot of political examples that I won't bring up right now. If we go to the About page on the Spurious Correlations website, the one where I got all of the very, very random relationships from, there are some very nice statements there that I think fit both for the website and this video. Fun first and mildly educational at second. Yes, that's what this is. Don't take it too seriously, okay? I'm not looking for any political debates in the comment section. I do, however, accept debates about Formula 1. If anyone would be interested, I fully well may partake in those myself if I see them. They are not copywritten. Here he's talking about the graphs, so thank you very much, Tyler. That's very kind of you. It's nice to not have to worry about any of that. And the same goes for this video. Do whatever you want with it. re-edit it if I did a poor job. Maybe not repost it completely, that would be a bit annoying, but anything else goes. Vigen is pronounced vegan, like I don't eat meat. That's above the guy who made the website, Tyler Vigen's last name, and it's just really good to know, and it also has nothing to do with me. My name's not vegan. I'm not gonna tell you what my name is, but it's not vegan. I did all those steps, and yes, it took exactly as long as you think it did. This doesn't really apply for me either. I've been on vacation for 2 weeks, that's probably why this took as long as it did, but either way, I'm very thankful to Tyler for making the website and also spawning my interest for the topic. So thank you, Tyler. I will now proceed with the credits, and as I do that, I want to tell you about another cool feature on the website. Okay, so you know with spurious relationships, they don't affect each other, and blah blah blah. I was actually really hoping you got that by now. Well, on the website, there is also an AI trying its very best to explain why the two topics are related to each other and do affect each other. So for the Boeing stock price, and it's Wednesday, my dudes, it thinks that Boeing employees got some strange midweek productivity when they saw an image of a frog with some text around it, and so they came up with some nice inventions and the stock went up. Okay, that one wasn't very good. And actually, looking at them again, none of them are very good, which means I don't really have a lot to say right now. So if we could just speed this up a bit, thank you. Okay, bye.